What's up guys, Dan here from BladeReviews.com, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. This is partially a viewer request. I've actually received a couple inquiries asking about my opinion on this particular knife. To be honest with you guys, that's really flattering, and I'm humbled to think that people want my opinion on this one, especially since it's a knife that really has been reviewed to death, but I'm more than happy to oblige. This is a knife that has been on my radar for a long time now, and just one that I've just haven't gotten around to reviewing yet. So with that said, let's dive on in, and I'd like to start us off with some very quick specifications here. The Para 2 has an overall length of 8.3 inches. It's got a 3.4 inch long blade, and it weighs 3.75 ounces. So this is a good sized knife, large EDC, large utility blade, tactical folder, something along those lines, depending on who you are and what exactly you want to do with it. But it's also, reasonably lightweight at under 4 ounces there. I think it's pretty incredible considering. So let's take a closer look at the blade, and what we have here is just a quintessential Spyderco drop point, real no frills design, definite function over form, although it still looks quite nice, at least to me. What we've got here is a long curving belly. We've got a full flat grind. The tip is pretty good considering. We're starting out with 3.5 millimeter thick blade stock, and it comes down to a fairly fine tip, but nothing that I'm really afraid of damaging here, unless, I'm starting to do some sort of serious prying tasks, which I wouldn't want to do in the first place with this one. So all in all, very functional blade shape. What we have here in terms of steel is CPM S30V. This is an American-made steel. One of my favorites. It's a premium steel, and it's relatively easy to sharpen. I'm not going to say it's super easy to sharpen because it's just not true in my experience, but relatively easy to sharpen, takes a very nice edge, holds an excellent edge, and is resistant to rust and corrosion. So all in all, a good steel, gets extra points for really holding on to a nice edge. All in all, this is a very nice blade with very good steel, I think. So let's move on to the handle here, which is just kind of a very familiar construction here. You've got black G10, or the option of digital camo G10, depending on which model of the Para 2 you buy. And of course, we've got sprint runs, but let's not even go there. What we have here is black G10, and it is over nested stainless steel liners. You can see here these liners have been neatly milled out to help reduce the weight here. That's part of what puts this one under 4 ounces. And if you look closely, you'll notice that it's actually very well done here. The handle is beautifully put together. There's no gaps. The liners aren't sticking out. It's very well finished. And I love the minimalist design. You've got a couple pillars here, and then you've got a large lanyard hole. And besides the pivot, that's pretty much it here. So very easy to maintain, nice and clean, lovely, lovely design. Everything screws together too for easy takedown and maintenance. Ergonomics on this knife are quite good. The first thing I noticed with this is the 50-50 choil, and by 50-50 choil I mean you've got 50% of the choil is made up of the blade tang, and then 50% is made up of the handle here. So what this does is just gives you a next level comfort and control when it comes to your fine detail tasks. For my kind of use, for EDC kind of stuff, I really make heavy use of this 50-50 choil. I like it a lot. Gives you a ton of control. That said, though, you've got plenty of room on this large, spacious handle to kind of choke back, to give a little bit extra reach to your blade here, and I find that's more of a tactical knife kind of application, more of a defensive sort of thing, so I find myself choking up. But it's nice to have the option. You've definitely got enough handle space for it. On top here you have an excellent thumb ramp with some very meaningful jimping. This stuff is extremely aggressive, and it just locks your thumb in place. All in all, the ergonomics are really nice. It's very comfortable in this grip. It's comfortable when you go back on it. It totally works, and I love it. I really do. Nicely rounded corners, just feels good in the hand. The pocket clip is a classic Spyderco hourglass clip. Mine's been given kind of a bright satin finish. Not my first choice when it comes to actual carry, because it is kind of obvious that you're carrying a pocket knife if the clip is visible, since it's so bright, but it totally works, and it looks handsome here with all the other satin finished hardware on this black handled Para 2. But you can buy an aftermarket black clip, or I think you can even buy one from Spyderco, actually, if Maybe if you ask them real nice, they'll give you one. But what we have here with this clip is you've got excellent retention, fairly low carry if you're going to do tip up, even lower if you do tip down. And so you've also got the option of mounting this on the left side too. So you've got true four-corner carry here, which is just excellent. You can just make this knife your own. Really like that. And the clip is good. You know, it's very good. Deployment here is accomplished via an extra large 14mm thumb hole, and this spider hole really works well. Deploys with great authority, very smooth thanks to the phosphor bronze bushings in there, and just very easy to get at. At first, this 14mm thumb hole was kind of a bit much for me. I found that my thumb was kind of getting trapped in there. I was getting lost inside that thumb hole, but having carried this one for a few weeks now, I don't know how I deployed my other Spydercos that didn't have this big honking spider hole on it, because I really like it. And going back to some of the smaller thumb holes can be kind of awkward now. So yeah, that's my way of saying that the deployment is excellent. What I like here is you've got plenty of room for bare hands or gloves, fully ambidextrous, just awesome. What we've got for lockup here is the compression lock, and this is an exclusive lock for Spyderco. They have a patent for this lock, and this is actually my first review to feature a knife with a compression lock. So I'm going to spend just a little extra time and talk about it. First of all, it's not a liner lock flipped to the top of the knife here. What you've got is a pin. You do have a piece of the liner, but you've also got this kind of shelf on the tang of the blade. And what happens is when you deploy the knife, the liner gets stuck in between the pin and the tang of the blade, and it's held in place that way. And when you apply pressure, when you're cutting something and pressure is applied to the blade, it actually forces everything together. It compresses it, hence compression lock. And the nice thing is it does the same thing when force is applied to the spine of the blade too. So I think it's a really cool design. There's no blade play at all with my knife, so I mean, that's great. I think it does an excellent job as a locking mechanism, and I love how it enables easy one-hand deployment and disengagement of the lock. So really nice, and it keeps your fingers out of the way of the path of the blade too, so that's great too. So all in all, I give the compression lock high marks. I think the deployment and the lockup is very solid, and it rounds out just an absolutely outstanding knife. I mean, there's a reason why there's so many reviews of the Paramilitary 2, because so many people have bought it, and if you hunt around, I mean, you'll see that most people really like this knife. And you know, my review is no exception. I really can't find hardly anything to complain about this one. So, you know, that's good. That makes me happy. I don't like ripping on stuff too much. I mean, if it needs to happen, it happens. But here, the Paramilitary 2 is all good, and I totally recommend this knife if you like the size, if it's something you're kind of interested in, you want my take on it, my take is go ahead. I think it's great. So excellent materials, really, really cool design, just totally works, incredibly functional, great fit and finish. Price is decent, $100. I mean, it's US made, it's got S30V, nice sizable folding tactical knife, really pretty good deal considering. Yeah, totally love the Para 2. So that's my take, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. Again, this is Dan for BladeReviews.com. Thanks again. Take care, and I'll be back soon with another knife review. So until then.